The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical, paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com and use the promo code MANWHORE. Want to spice up your anniversary, honeymoon, or just time away from the kids? Book your next exciting Mexican vacation or cruise at Desire Resorts. Begin your journey to paradise at manwhorepod.com/desire. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
What's up, all you old pros, porn hoes, and dudes in pantyhose? This is Billy Persida, and you're listening to the Man Whore Podcast. Oh, does my voice sound fucked up? Yeah, a little bit. I'm finally recovering from a poor mistake last week. I'll tell you all that. Oh God, this sounds so gross. I sound like a grandmother after giving a blowjob. Oh my God. Hi. I am back, your host, Billy Persida, forcing my voice into some sort of register that sounds vaguely natural. What's going on? I am back from the AVN Awards, the Adult Entertainment Expo in Las Vegas, and I cannot wait to share that with y'all in a little bit. But first, show dates, people, show dates. Okay. February 17th, I'm going to be doing a roast battle at Comedy Fight Club, which is down at Lucky Jack's on the Lower East Side. It's a free show at 9:30, so if you want to come watch me get insulted, you can come see that. But more importantly, Tour de Man Whore. Oh boy, tickets have been on sale, and I am so thrilled to see that, there is so much interest all over this country to bring this live show experience to them. I want to read off, I guess we'll read off the top 5 cities, because I'm so curious to see, which city's going to be first. Which city's going to be the first one to get activated with their very own Man Whore Podcast live show. So in first place right now is Detroit, followed very closely by Miami. After that, we have a tie for Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Pittsburgh. Fourth place, you got San Francisco, and in fifth place, Memphis, Tennessee. So really stoked to see all this. And if you want to get a Man Whore Podcast live show in your town, all you got to do is go to manwhorepod.com/tour. If your city sells 20 tickets by March 31st, guess what? I'm coming to your city. I'm bringing it to you. I'm packing up the car that I don't have yet. Maybe I'm taking my good friend and former lover, Andrea Allen, with me. Who knows? We're going to have some fun. AVN was a blast. I can't get over it enough. Today's Tuesday. I got back late last night. If any of y'all follow me very closely on social media, you might have read some things here and there, some happy things, some sad things. I got to say, covering AVN is an emotionally toiling experience. As I've described before, this podcast, it's not your typical interview show. I'm not going to sit down and ask you 10 hacky questions about double penetration. I'm here to actually have a conversation. I'm here to connect. The thing is, I'm connecting, disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, all day, every day with a bunch of different people. Last year at AVN, I did 10 recordings. This year we did 12. I had 16 planned. We ended up doing 12. I low-key canceled on Marcus London so I could get laid Sunday morning, but we did 12. If I'm being honest, I think I did he and I both a favor with that. But yeah, it's just it felt like going on a dozen first dates, incredible first dates that only last an hour, and I know there's no second date. And that's really difficult, That's I'm very emotionally exhausted right now. But it was a really cool experience being back there again, seeing some familiar faces, meeting some Twitter folk that we've become very friendly on Twitter, but we never met in person. It was cool seeing old guests that I've become friendly with. I saw the Banks sisters. If you remember Ginger Banks, I saw Venus Lux. I saw a whole slew of people. It was just so much fun. My buddy Eitan Levine won a fucking AVN award. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he won for a Best Clever title because if you remember, former guest, former friend of the show, Eitan Levine was on the Man Whore podcast because he came up with the Hamilton porn parody, aptly named Hamilton. So we were really excited for him. Another really cool thing I noticed was that, in my conversations was the trend of the types of topics that would come up. So, for example, like last year, a very common topic was fan boundaries, as well as porn drama and, sexual assault, calling in versus calling out. Those are very common themes last year. I think this year, what I really noticed was I continue to see the similarities between porn and comedy. I truly think the two career paths are very similar. I saw that even more this year. And so a common topic that comes up is being independent versus being someone who shoots with studios, having access to your fans, selling directly to your fans, the different types of content that one in the adult entertainment industry can do to be in the adult entertainment industry. We spoke to this one woman, Naomi Banks, who she hasn't shot scenes with anyone or what she would call hardcore porn in like 6 years, but she's still here. She's still building a sexy brand with lingerie and dominatrix work and like some solo videos and camming or whatever. It's like she's still doing porny stuff without like going on set and blowing some dude on camera. So I'm really excited to release these episodes over the coming months. I will be sprinkling them out over the course of the year. The first one of which is today's episode with comedian Liza Treyger. Lisa is a stand-up comedian who you can see on the Netflix series The Degenerates. She does a half hour of stand-up over there, but she was also out at AVN working with the Brazzers booth, and that was we talk a bit about, it's like, hey, why are you here? And she was just fantastic. We got a killer episode for you. But first I want to read an email. I want to read one of your emails. I got this one. Subject line, very relatable episode. He writes, hey, so still a pretty new listener. A friend has been hounding me forever to listen. I'm about 30 episodes deep, some old, some new, but your recent episode with Jace Lindgren from the Multi-Amory podcast hit me really hard in the best of ways. My job has me traveling full time, and as a single guy who doesn't have real set-in-stone home location, dating is definitely something that can be hard to navigate. I try to be as upfront as possible and let people know that I travel and my length of stay is almost never guaranteed. It's tough trying to convince someone you're not just trying to fucking run when you don't even know how long you'll be in town. That being said, I've made some amazing connections through my travels from women who decide to take the chance. Another reason the episode was super interesting was because a good portion of the women I go on dates with are in poly relationships. I feel like these kind of relationships take a lot of the pressures off of meeting new people because they aren't focused so much on how can I make a future with this person work. They seem to be way more open to just enjoying a connection with someone and letting it turn to whatever it turns into. I just wanted to let you know I really enjoyed the episode and listening to different perspectives that still have a very familiar feel to my own. I'm looking forward to diving in deeper and finding more episodes that resonate with me. And who knows, I might even have to start contributing to the Patreon as my friend Ariel talks the Peep Show and its antics up pretty damn hard. P.S. As a bald guy with piercings and a beard, it's definitely hard to convince anyone I'm not a misogynist piece of shit, so the struggle of looking the part but not being one is so real. Well, Michael, thank you so much for writing in, and I'm glad you also understand the whole aspect of being like, I look like the enemy, but I swear I'm not. Give me a chance. That struggle is real. That is for real. And I'm glad that the episode with Jace really hit you hard. And I'm really glad you were able to relate to my conversation with Jace. Again, if y'all really enjoyed his perspective on things, do check out the Multi-Amory podcast. It really is a phenomenal show. It's like one of the 6 podcasts I listen to. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I listen to Multi-Amory. And now for a moment from our sponsor, HotMovies.com. HotMovies.com really has anything you could be looking for. It just has so many different fetishes and looks and performers and videos. Whatever you're into, you can find something for you. You know what I like? I am an award snob. Whether it's watching feature films or porn, I do like watching the things that were nominated or won awards. And HotMovies.com has an AVN award winner category. So it can filter it all out just to the award winners if you're really snobby about what you beat off to. Personally, I was really thrilled to see Angela White not only win Performer of the Year, but she also won Best Actress in a Featurette. And it turns out that the featurette she won for is a porn that I have watched. It's like a scene called Who's Becky? And it's from a movie called Games We Play. It's directed by Caden Cross, who also won Best Director of the Year. And Games We Play is on HotMovies.com. It is an insane scene emotionally. It's not even that the sex is super hardcore. Like, it's some pretty rough sex. But it's basically like a woman, Angela White, in a hotel room with Manuel Ferrara. I think I'm saying his name right. I mean, he won Best Male Performer of the Year, so I should probably get the name right. But Angela White's character, she's like basically discovered that her man's been cheating through text on his phone. So when he wakes up, she's like, "Who's Becky?" Sounds maybe comical, but it's like a very emotionally intense porn scene. You almost don't want to jerk it to it. Not because it's not sexy, because it's very emotionally raw and intense. And they go back and forth between making out and her sucking his dick to her going back away to like a chair in the corner, crying and yelling at him, then going back over and fucking him, but then stopping and going back over. And there's some consensual non-consent play in there as well. It's a hot scene, but it's like an emotional scene. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad that won. That's something I do enjoy about the AVNs. Like, there are so many fucking categories, but they do have a difference between Best Actress and Best Female Performer, because Best Actress is like literally the acting part. And I thought, that's cute. That's so cute. So, hey, if you go to hotmovies.com, use promo code MANWHORE, and you get 20 free minutes on top of any package you sign up for. And you know what? You can use those free minutes to go watch this scene, the Games We Play, and watch the scene with Angela White. Do you not know which scene that is? Oh, gosh, if only there was a website that differentiated each scene and tagged it with each performer and all the different sex acts involved. Oh, wait, I know one. Hotmovies.com. When you go to the movies page, they break down each scene individually. So you can like skip ahead to specific scenes if you want to the scene with the performer you want to watch or the sex act you want to watch. So you can go to the Games We Play. You just go to that second scene because that's the one with Angela White. And boom, you're watching her do some serious actual acting. And some legit fucking. I mean, she is a sexy woman. So again, go to hotmovies.com, use promo code MANWHORE to get your 20 free minutes. And we thank them for sponsoring the Man Whore podcast. Before we get to this week's guest, Liza Treyger, it's time for the fan horror appreciation moment. Oh yeah. This is the part of the podcast where I like to give a shout out to some of the members of my fan horror community on Patreon. Patreon is a great way to support the podcast as well as receive a slew of great rewards. You also get to join a wonderful community of sex-positive weirdos who have come to know and love each other like really, really much. If you were at Man Horror Con, you know what I'm talking about. Right now, I want to give a shout out to Gabby Hayes. Hello, neighbor. I'm surprised we haven't bumped into each other on the train by now. Come on, you know that's what happens when as soon as you discover someone lives by you in New York. Thank you so much for being a local fan of the show. Thank you so much to Carol Witten. I'm glad to see you contributing in the champagne room. I hope we'll be seeing you chime in a little bit more. Come on, we all want to know, what kind of sexy times you're getting up to in there on Sexual Achievement Sunday. And thank you to T. Osterhog. Don't really know what that whole name situation is, if I'm going to be honest with you, but you interact with me a lot on Twitter. You like a lot of the tweets, so like you're a good egg in my book. Even if your avatar were a Twitter egg, I'd be like, that's a good Twitter egg. That's unlike the Twitter eggs that just like to yell racist, misogynist shit on the internet. Like there's a good one. Thank you so much, T, for being a member. And you too can join the club for as little as $1 per month. All you have to do is head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. With the money for February, I will hopefully be purchasing a new voice. Because holy shit is this rough. If you skip the intro, if you normally listen to the intro, but you skip because of the voice, like, I understand. That's why I'm going to let's just go on ahead to my conversation with stand-up comedian Liza Treyger. You can see her on Netflix's The Degenerates, and she has a stand-up comedy album called Glitter Cheese, available like all over the place. Let's get to me and Liza Treyger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a believer in like you got to just put things into the world that you want, and I'm an avid porn watcher and fan. And I'm not just a casual fan. Like most people I talk to that like porn, they don't know the girls' names or like anything, but like I watch all the interviews, I read their interviews, and I'm a super fan. So, and then once Cardi B was going to perform, because I heard Lil Wayne was a disappointment last year and didn't really perform. And I know that she's going to bring it. Like, I just think it's like hose for hose. Like, I think it's going to be awesome. I think she's going to really crush it. So I was like, I need to get over here and I want to ask questions. And they just always get asked the same questions, and they're, like even Brazzers like, let's do a spelling test with them. I'm like, I'm not going to see if they can spell. Like, I don't know how to spell.
How about you participate in the fucking spelling bee, Mr. Executive? Okay,
yeah, but I don't even know how to spell. So I was just like, I don't know what you're trying. I mean, they're trying to be funny, but I'm like, that's weird. And even when I've watched red carpet interviews, dudes, like this one for Abella Danger, someone was like, can I grab your ass? Or it's always like, what's your favorite position? And I just wanted to come and kind of talk to them as a pervert fan, but not dismissive of them as like people and how good they are at their job. So I don't know. That's like all of that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
They'll be so appreciative that if you don't ask them dumb porn questions, because they love just getting like talk. Like if the amount of times they have to explain like why, like how they got into porn. Are your parents like cool with it? They're
and
just
that's
like,
also not a casual question. Like, in what brain realm do you think it's okay to go to someone and be like, what's your relationship with your family?
Honestly, the only other place I hear that type of thing is like comics.
Oh, really?
It's like
only if they're like Indian or like Chinese or something. I guess I'm foreign. Yeah, I do get asked that. Yeah, you're right.
Wait, what's your background then?
I'm Russian.
You're Russian?
Yeah, from the former Soviet Union.
Is that how you were raised to say it?
Well, this is why, because it's present day Ukraine.
Right.
And so if you say Russia and then someone has to follow up and I say Odessa, they try to tell me I'm not Russian and that you're like, you're Ukrainian. I'm like, no, I know, but it was the former Soviet Union.
Sure. And
we left on religious society. Like, we're just Russian. I don't know what to tell you. And so it gets people get annoying. So that's why I just started saying former Soviet Union. So there's no questions or follow-ups.
Well, with the dumb porn questions, like the stereotype is like porn stars are dumb or whatever and vapid, but then it's like, are they? Because I was like listening to some like, I won't say the name of the podcast, but it was like some like comedians like people might recognize on like a big comedy podcast network, and they had on Nikki Delano.
Okay.
Because I was trying to like hear what she's like, because we're going to talk to her, and they're asking her just these most base questions. I'm like, are porn stars dumb, or are like horny dudes who are nervous around hot women just nervously asking sex questions because they don't know how to speak to them? I feel like if they would just jerk off before the interview, they might just talk to them.
Yeah, and it's just they're more than just the job, and I think a lot of these porn dudes or like fans don't realize that they go home. I don't know, and I'm sure they're like super slutty. Like I follow Adriana Chechik's OnlyFans page.
Okay,
and there's like they do wild things.
So you pay for the OnlyFans?
I do.
Hashtag pay for your porn.
No, I pay for it. I also buy stuff from ManyVids, and I have a subscription to Kink. But then, of course, I go on Pornhub sometimes. It's like hard not to.
Yeah, you can't not incorporate. I'm more of a Reddit person. Like I'll incorporate Reddit to my paid porn viewing. Okay. But like, so long as you're paying for some of your porn, I think someone told me like, if everyone who watches porn, which is everybody, would put $100 a year into the industry, like things would vastly improve.
Yeah, one of the craziest things, and I hope I get to talk to Riley Reid this weekend. She has over 1 billion streams. And can you imagine if that was Drake or a YouTuber or anyone, like the amount of money? And it's just so like, obviously I think she's doing well, but like 1 billion streams, billions of people are jerking off to you, and you're not making money off of that. That's insane.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
Yeah, it'd be like if, I don't know, people were recording our sets and then putting them on YouTube for free.
Yeah, but that's not even good. That's like us, we're not even planning it. So that's like random. But these are like, they're going to set. I don't know. And it's part of the companies and stuff too, where I think the girls should get residuals.
I like that you're saying like it's there's the finished product. That's their finished set. That's their finished blowjob. They worked on the blowjobs at their blowjob open mics. And then this is what they got.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, the number one question I'm going to ask everyone this weekend is how everyone gets their pussies so smooth. Because they can't wax, because you need to wait 3 to 4 weeks to re-wax. And so they all shave, but like, I don't know what they're doing. And all the girls in my life are like, you need to find out.
Is that for like to spread the information or for personal knowledge?
No, we all need to know how to shave and not get razor burn. They're the smoothest shavers in the world. Like that's like what I can't wait to find out from everybody. Maybe they got laser, but even that like takes like a lot. It's the timing wouldn't work out with a busy shoot schedule.
Sure. If they end up telling you it's just laser, like would you end up going the laser route?
I've done it. It's for me. I spend money pretty frivolously, and that's just not a priority. But eventually, I would totally laser.
I want to laser the butthole. That's what I'm thinking of saving up for.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of shaving that shit.
Yeah, it's gross and annoying. I'm sure. And like last minute stuff. And laser lasts. And it's a good investment.
Sure.
But get it discounted. Don't ever pay full price.
For what? The laser?
For the laser.
I can
There's always
negotiate
like
that?
Groupons. And I used to work at a salon that did laser stuff, hair removal. And they're always doing like 10 sessions for yada yada. Like there's always a deal. Like don't.
All right.
That's my advice. There's always a deal. Barely anyone pays full price.
In the Uber over here, I legitimately did not think I was going to get butthole laser hair removal advice from Liza Trager, stand-up comedian.
One of my friends who's a boy, he just started getting his butthole waxed and he loves it. He can't stop talking about it. He's been doing jokes about it. I mean, he loves it.
Comic?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants you to say this, but he's doing jokes about it. It's Soren Choksy. He's getting his butthole waxed and he loves it.
Writer?
He has written for some shows. Yeah.
I was in a Writer's Way group with him where we would meet up every week and like
that's crazy. And now you know
the Artist Way. The Artist Way.
He loves the Artist Way.
Yeah, we were doing that together like last year for like for months.
That is insane. Yeah. So now you know he has a smooth butthole. I like that was on my Uber. I took a cab. I've been told to take cabs, but I think I'm being fucked with. But. Oh, I thought you drove here for some reason, but that's why I asked you to take me to the weed store later.
Sure. I mean, I'll get you an Uber to the weed store.
What was I going to say about artists? I don't even know. Oh, my cab ride over, he asked, "Are you gay or normal?" I was like, I don't know if you should ask it that way.
Or ask it at all.
And he goes, no, you're right. I'm sorry. Of course you could be gay and normal. But then he pissed me off even more because he hates Celine Dion. Okay. First he said Michael Jackson's overrated. And I was like, you can have your own thoughts about him, but he's just not overrated. He's truly, that's the way he needs to be rated.
He's properly rated.
He goes, no. And then I go, I saw Celine Dion last time I was in Vegas. And he goes, I don't like her. I go, why? He goes, she hasn't had a new song since Titanic. I go, well, that's not true. That's the way it is. And this new Deadpool song. And he goes, I don't know. She's old. And then he said he liked Elton John. And I'm like, but he's old and doesn't have new music. What are you talking about? He goes, it's different. Stop pushing your beliefs on me. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just letting you know you fucking hate women or Celine Dion and stop coming up with reasons. You could just say you hate her. But you like a person that has the exact same qualifications as her. I don't know. He was like annoying the shit out of me. Very annoying, but used to it.
Well, the red carpet gig's a pretty fun gig to have, like considering like your brand of comedy.
It's really my dream. It's like my dream to do this. I was upset. Me and my family, like all we did was watch award shows and red carpet and then buy the People magazines of the best dress the next week. And I just always have loved it. And so it's really a huge honor treat for me that I get to do it. But I hope I don't like fail under pressure,
I'm sure
when you're just too cocky, you're like, yeah, sure, I could do this. But it's like, I've never done it before.
Like any sort of like improvise, like on the street type stuff.
Oh, I guess I have. Yeah, no, I ask questions. You're right. I've asked questions.
It's the same thing with hotter people.
They are so hot and tiny. I mean, they're so tiny.
Some of them are so much like Lena Paul. I passed by earlier today.
I'm
I was
obsessed with her.
I
I
think she's
can't
so
believe you
hot.
saw her.
I'm glad we have similar point.
I really want to find her.
I just like passed by her because like I was dragging Nina Hartley's like fucking roller bag for 2 hours, just trying to be of use. And I just like we passed by her. I was like, she's a lot shorter than I thought. You know,
They're all tiny. When I met Penny Packs, I couldn't believe it how like small she was.
Yeah, it's insane.
They're all really tiny, but it makes sense because they're getting thrown around and like fucked in the air and held up. So it makes sense that they're so tiny.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was asking you before, off mic, like, okay, so like, how do you identify? And then you said one of the best answers. I've been doing the show almost 5 years, and it's one of the best answers I've gotten for like, how do you identify? Newly kind of gay.
Yeah. Well, I always thought I was straight, but I've hooked up with some girls or in group things, and then I met a girl and we fell in love and we dated, and then I got dumped. But after that relationship, I was like, oh yeah, I want to have a wife. So I think I want to marry a girl and I want to date girls, and like on my dating apps, all my settings are girls, but I'm not attracted to dudes. Like I can imagine myself having sex with a man, but I don't know. I don't want to look up and see a dude. It's like weird.
Like maybe a femi gets laser hair removal. Dude.
No, not at all. Like I saw one, there was like a bartender that I found hot recently and he had a beard, but I don't know. I'm kind of people want an answer. That's what I've realized once I like switched over. A lot of people want like such a definitive answer, but like I'm open for it. And even if I like met a dude and connected, I would be down. I'd be like disappointed, but I would be fine with it.
What, like you'd be disappointed that you're into him?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I thought like I was like all cool and gay, and now I guess like I'm just a little less.
Yeah, kind of. Kind of. But yeah, I just really enjoyed dating and being with this girl. So.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm never looking for the definitive answer. I'm always just looking for like the context.
Yeah, but no, but in the world, everyone wants an answer. And like when I got dumped, everyone was just like, who are you going to fuck next? Like, who are you into? Are you gay or not? What's going on? And it's like, I don't know, I'm pretty heartbroken. Like, I don't know. And then my other ex.
Can I just go cry for a second? Like,
that's how I felt. Everyone wants an answer constantly all over. And I don't know. I'm like, grow up. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to do because I've only been in 2 serious relationships, and one was a boy and one was a girl.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did you ever question your sexuality before when you thought you were with the dudes?
No.
It was just like, yeah, dudes, fine.
Yeah, and I'm trying to write material about it now because it's like obvious. Like I'm looking back at my life and I'm like, oh, I think you've been fucking gay. Like I played on an all-boys football team growing up. I've been like just a feminist forever. Everyone should be a feminist, but
it's a very bold move.
In 20, I stayed at like an anarchist vegan co-op. I used to hang out with derby girls, and
I love roller derby.
You do?
I go to Gotham Girls roller derby every month unless I'm out of town.
Oh my God, I've never been. I should do that in New York.
It is
cool.
So cool. And
sweet.
For me, what it does, it serves as like the fill-in for violent sports, but when football ends, because Super Bowl's February, Derby starts March, ends in August, football September. So I can get my violence as entertainment year round.
And I love their fun names. Love tattoos.
And they're such babes.
They're babes.
Yeah, and then you get to watch babes just knock out babes. I watched at Coney Island.
Tough babes.
I watched one lay one out. They stopped the match for like 5 minutes. And I was like, worth the money.
No, I used to work at a hair salon when I was young, and it was like punk rock cool, and all these derby girls worked there, and I felt really cool hanging out with all of them. And I was so much younger than them; they truly were like, I probably annoyed by me, but I was obsessed and so happy to be there. But I would go to the parties sometimes, and the girls would just be on the floor beating the shit out of each other at the parties. Like that's what they would do for fun. But yeah, and then I have a giant naked Miley Cyrus framed poster. And when I met my ex-girlfriend, and then we met in a different country. And then when I came home and I saw the poster, I was like, oh, fuck. Cause she looks like they have the same body. And I was like, oh, I have a type. Like, I think I've just been attracted to Miley this whole time and I didn't even know. But yeah, the signs were there. I don't know what.
I mean, the naked Miley framed.
Yeah.
Not I taped it up. You took the money to frame.
Yeah.
Naked Miley Cyrus was like, a little gay.
Yeah, from the Love magazine shoot. You know, I'm obsessed with her and I loved when she was dating Stella Maxwell. I don't know. And my best friends are this lesbian married couple. I don't know why I didn't even entertain it earlier. It's really confusing to me.
See,
because also a lot of my material, I don't know if you saw even The Degenerates, but it's like about how men suck at having sex and how they don't make women come. And I think that is true, separate from my experience. But then I'm like, maybe I just didn't like these guys. And I just don't know.
The men that you've been with, like, what's the typical beef with, like, the way they fuck?
For me, it's not the typical beef. It's that truly men do not care about female pleasure. The statistics are all out there. Like, most women do not come during sex, and men are not taught or have the desire to please women. Like, it's usually like the dudes that are like super freaky are, but just normal fucking, like, female pleasure isn't a priority. Even if we watch movies, it's like the fucking happens right away. You know, my biggest pet peeve in like Sex and the City and movies is like when a dude's dick doesn't work, they're like, I guess it's done. And it's like, you could do so much stuff.
Infinite amount of things you can do without a hard cock.
Why is that the thing? And even like, you know, with porn, it's like, it's not over till there's a cum shot. Right. And it's just like male pleasure, and women don't speak up a lot, and because of sex ed and how it's taught. And so women don't speak up, and so many women fake orgasms. So it's just like a societal giant issue. But in my set, if anyone wants to watch it on Netflix, I kind of trick the male audience into admitting what terrible people they are. Because I ask if men ask each other if their friends came or not. Like, would you ever ask a guy friend when he fucks someone new, like, oh my God, did you come?
No.
You would never. But then I ask if the women, and it's like all the women clap. So it's like, you guys come so much, it's a given. You would not even think it's sex unless you're coming. And then all the women are like, we're asking our friends, did you come? And usually the answer is no. So it's just anecdotal evidence. It's like, none of our friends are coming. Yeah. They're getting fucked poorly. And then it's excuses. It's like, oh, but sex can be good without her. Like, oh, it's going to take time. And it's women not wanting or having. They should be more vocal too. Like, women, we need to like be more vocal. When I was young, I had terrible sex for years. Because I just didn't even think it was supposed to be good. Like, I was just like, oh, this sucks. Yeah. But none of the dudes were like, oh, this girl isn't having fun. It's weird. And so it's the way sex is taught for both, for everyone. Well, it's not something a woman has to give a man. Mm-hmm. It's for herself. And men need to be taught that they need to make women come.
And I think a lot of dudes are I think many men are starting to get the picture on the, like, you should be, you have a better chance of getting laid again with someone when it seems like you gave a shit and tried. The next step of that, though, is then to teach guys that the female orgasm is not the end all be all, and to not be obsessed with it, I think. Because I think when they get overly obsessed, it then interrupts things, and they're now too concerned. Like, did you come? Did you come? Did you come?
Oh, yeah, don't say that.
Now the faking of orgasm isn't because, like, whatever. It's like to appease this person who's, like, overly obsessed with. So, like, we need to get guys to, like, give a shit, but, like, not be obsessed with it.
Or when people are like, come for me, and it's like, all right.
I'm coming for me. Fuck you.
No, that's annoying. That's definitely a theme with people that I speak to of like, so did you come? But I don't know. I read one meme, and it was about how, like, boys need to be taught that sex isn't a conquest, but a thing of intimacy. Mm-hmm. But they should be obsessed. I read, so, you know, when I started dating my girlfriend, I bought a pussy eating book because, I was just nervous. I wanted to be good. And
wait, how old were you when you started dating a woman?
Oh, this was like 2 years ago. This is like so recent. That's why I'm like, it's totally new. Because I had like one group thing and then one girl back in the day, but I don't know. I just felt like I had to prep.
Right. I may recommend a particular video after I show you this. I organized a gangbang on Sunday. Okay. That's the life I guess I live. And there was a fella, there was like, I think we ended up having like 13 guys, and she was blindfolded for all of them. One of the dudes that was there is like towards the end, like the last squadron. Yeah. He's like a young, heavyset Asian guy, like kid almost, you know, what did he look like? It's fine. He asked like, oh, can I eat her out? I was like, yeah, go for it. And then he's eating her out. He makes her come so hard. Like her legs are fucking shaking. I'm like trying to keep her thighs in check. Some dudes fuck her, you know, that guy fucked her, whatever. He went down on her again right at the end. And then she finally taps out after about like an hour or so. And it's like, I'm good. Hour and a half. And then a few guys lingered long enough that I was like, hey, there's a few guys still here. Do you want to like take off the blindfold? See who, like some of the fellas that fucked you? She's like, yeah. So she looks, and like the other guys in the room were like definitely just like conventionally attractive. Looks like, oh, cool. Now I said, now this fella is the one who's making your legs shake. And she's like, oh. Then he said, would you believe me if I said this is the 3rd time I've eaten pussy? And he said he learned everything he learned from a Nina Hartley how-to cunnilingus video.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Nina Hartley's instructional videos apparently can make like someone be an expert.
I should watch. No, I read a book called She Comes First.
Yep.
But because it was, I brought it up because of the point you made of like dudes being obsessed with it, and part of this book is like, it was made for dudes that ejaculate early, and to the point of like, if you just make a girl come, it'll de-stress you, and then you could fuck and like chill out, and then you won't get nervous and come fast, Right. And so that's like where that comes from. But I don't know if we're in a territory. But even you're right. I don't think we're in a territory where men care too much. They care about them. It's still about their ego. It's like, did you come for me? So I think men should only care about making women come. 2019. Right. That's it.
My slight pivot on that is that I think men need to care about making women feel good.
Yes.
And then if they come, it's a bonus. But when you focus it on pleasure instead of the orgasm, you can at least make it a more attainable goal. It's not a bad goal.
Yeah.
And the orgasm is like, it can happen, but at least then it takes away this obsession of like, did you come? And rather the question is, how does that feel? Does that feel good? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
As opposed to like, did you fucking come?
Well, yeah, or even like bringing toys or something in, or just like kind of being, less selfish in the bedroom.
Well, how did you do with that woman the first time?
It's great. I mean,
what's it like to be a grown woman like and eat pussy for the first time?
No, I feel like a teen because I felt like a teen for sure. I don't know. It went well. I was good at it, but I haven't hooked up with anyone since then. So I'm kind of like, we'll see what happens next time. I'm like a rookie.
If I may indulge.
But she was really into it for sure. I was good at it for her.
What was going through your head that first time being in front of a genital that you weren't thinking that you were going to be into?
Well, because we had hooked up once before, and I just didn't go down her. Honestly, I didn't have any weird feelings about it at all. Okay. I don't know if I felt any different. I was just like super attracted to her. I was super into it, and I wanted to make her feel good. And and it was fun. And then I was kind of just like, why aren't dudes better at this? It just didn't seem that hard.
Yeah.
Even though it took like a little bit maybe, but it didn't seem very hard. So it's just confusing what all this like mystical, like, how do we do this? It's just like, I just read one book and then I made her come. Yeah. So I'm just like confused.
And it's like, when in doubt, enthusiasm, right? Like, most sexual experiences can just be improved. Yeah. Like, even if you don't know how to technically do it, like, just be like enthusiastic and at least like you'll get closer.
And she's like she would also like if something wasn't right or I had to move over, like she would tell me. She really didn't have any qualms.
That's the other thing.
Being vocal.
Yeah, we gotta teach. Also, be like at the same time getting guys to give a shit. Like teach women like to be vocal.
They have to be vocal.
Because not mind readers.
Yeah, but I dated someone, and when I told him I didn't come, he went, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" Well, like bad guy.
Sure, but you can also communicate through like the not saying your words. Like I prefer words, but if it's like through nonverbals, through like if you're not a moaner, but you're not gonna say that feels good, you can like throw out some.
Well, this is one of the dangerous things of people, especially boys, watching porn too early. That is like, I know Bella Danger is always like, you should not watch it till you're 18. Like that's why she doesn't do princess stuff.
Wow.
And 18? Same with Adriana. Yeah, that's the legal age
to watch porn. Well, okay.
Because it fucks you up. Because a lot of kids don't get good sex education. It's so much abstinence or like fear based, and then a lot of parents aren't really open. You're hoping that they are, and so many people get porn like sex ed is porn, and they don't realize that it's like not how people fuck.
See, what I like is having there being more and varied porn. So when you're finding the porn, it's not just the extreme shit, or you might stumble upon an actual
Nina Hartley how to.
Yeah, where like it's sex ed, but it's like a porn set. It's sex ed using porn to show it to you.
Yeah, because Kink does like Kink University. Sure. That's one of their things, and they go through all this stuff. I watched the Eating Out on that one too. But they have all different types of education. But Kate Willett has a joke about this a lot. I think there's jokes about it, but like you can tell if a dude has watched all like so much porn while they fuck versus actually like fucking people consistently.
Yeah, if he's got you in dog and he's putting his like foot on your head, which like I didn't even know was a thing. Like I heard people complain about that before I knew it was something people did because I just don't watch that kind of porn.
Yeah, what do you watch?
Oh, it depends on my mood.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like I'm a big Reddit person, but like
So what's happening on Reddit? I thought people just type on that. Like I didn't realize there was porn.
Oh, you can have like picture stuff because like there's a lot of not safe for work subreddits.
Okay.
So like I usually start most of my Reddits with r/chubby or r/hold the moan, which is basically like public stuff.
That's I do public disgrace. That's what I watch.
Public disgrace. Okay, yeah. So I like it like less extreme. I like the whole like let's sneak it here. Like what I fucked my ex once like on a bus to Jersey to introduce her to my mom, and like that was fun. Or like fucking around in a movie
Did people
theater.
see?
No, but there was a guy literally 2 seats in front of us. It was really hot.
Yeah.
So I love playing in public. I love New York City for public play because our cops have better shit to do than to like bust you for public sex.
So do cops like just watch and they're into it?
I don't know. I haven't had it happen, but I just got to imagine there's going to be like, get out of here. You know, unless you're like doing it as school.
Yeah.
Then just like, they're like, just, can you get out of here? That's why I get like, if you get caught in Central Park, I got to imagine it's more like, just like, we're going to run your names. If you have no warrants, get the fuck out of here. Because we have real crime. When you get caught in your hometown, the cops know you personally. They'll be like, even if you got away, they know your mom. Like they just be like, we caught Jimmy fucking in the place or whatever.
Yeah.
So I usually start with like, they have basically these like really niche subreddits.
Okay.
So like anything you can want. Like there's r/chubby, but there's also r/slightly chubby, r thick, r curvy, r BBW, r SBBW. Like that's
SBBW.
It's like super big, beautiful women.
Okay.
There is also, I think, there's like our feeders, our stuffers gone wild. Like that is only a sampling.
And everyone's just posting their shit that they like.
That they like, or sometimes their own original content.
Yeah.
Like our chubby is mostly like a self-posting. You're usually like posting like it's real women posting their real bodies and whatnot. Our hold the moan is going to be like similar, like people posting their own things or posting porn that takes place in public.
Oh, so that's okay.
Yeah, hold the moan, like you gotta be quiet. Yeah. Or like if you're fucking like next to somebody. And then it's just a rabbit hole from there. Who knows? Like they have things like for big tits, but they also have like boobs in front of like in between arms where like just people specifically doing that pose. And it's just only that. So you can get like hyper specific on Reddit. And if I have a specific taste, I use that. If I'm watching porn, I don't know. I like, it's weird. I get shy about the porn that I watch. I don't know. I share everything on the show.
But that gets you.
You
don't have to.
No, I get weird. I like the public stuff. I like that. Sometimes I like watching a woman. Recently, trans porn has been like inching its way into my rotation of stuff. And that's been new in me trying to figure out. So who knows what that's going to be.
Yeah.
So when did you start watching porn? You said you're a porn fan.
Well, I think casually and like once in a while. But I think I found kink and like I knew that I really liked it maybe 4 years ago. 4 or 5.
Okay. So like well into adulthood.
Yeah. I think I would do casual porn, or like, I'll go on once in a while, but yeah, I didn't really get super into it until I found kink. And then you see like the regular people, like not the regular people, but like you see the same person often.
Yeah.
And then they also have the interview before and after. So then you like hear the people chat. And so that's when I got kind of super into it.
Right. They do the interviews where
I'm like trying to like reminisce what I used to watch. Like as a kid, I'd watch Real Sex. That's for sure.
like on HBO, right?
Yes, that was like a huge thing for me.
But that was a hit or miss because sometimes it's going to be really hot and sometimes it was a bunch of naturists where you're like, that's
are people reading like poems
or like it's grandma, like, but it looks like your grandma.
I always say that they always had like glass dildos and I've never encountered a glass dildo in my life.
The first sex toy I've owned for myself was a little 5-inch glass dildo.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I still have it to this day.
Glass dildos everywhere in that show.
Have you never used a glass sex toy?
No.
They're fantastic. Have you used steel?
No.
Steel, glass, fantastic. Oh my. At least like because they're just smooth and slick and they kind of go in very easily.
Yeah.
You can use like really
and they're pretty.
They're pretty. You can use any lube with them. I've got like this like set of like steel butt plugs and they got the little jewel at the end. So like you bend over and it's like, oh look, that's cute.
I've never done or been into butt stuff ever. we'll see what happens in my future.
See what happens.
But I'm like so.
Ladies listening and interested.
Well, no, because eating ass is like so huge right now, and I'm just like could not be less interested.
Isn't that weird how like that's like a fad?
I'd rather get peed on. Like I do not want to lick a butt.
Careful, because like water sports is going to be the next.
That's what I've
ass.
been saying. 2019 is the year of water sports. I've been saying it at every show I've been doing, and people don't like it. But I think 2019 is the year of water sports. I think pee is going to go into the mainstream.
I think once the Trump pee tape comes out,
yeah,
it's going to be
even
all
before. I just feel like do you watch Big Mouth?
Some, yeah.
It's so
I watch all the
good.
first season. I've watched some of
The second season is great, but the first season when the little boy gets obsessed with porn, and he's watching mature piss gangbangs because he's like just gotten through all of it. That's how I feel. Like you just watch so much that all of a sudden you're like, all right, I guess they're peeing on each other.
I guess this is what sex is, and it's like,
well, because Adriana in her OnlyFans got like, someone just peed in her mouth.
Okay.
She pees all the time everywhere. I don't know. I feel like it's because it's gonna be the thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be the way eating ass was, and before eating ass was pegging. You know,
because pegging had a moment
when Broad City did that, and then like they did eating ass on girls. So really, what needs to happen is there's
oh yeah, who ate whose ass? The husband ate Marnie's ass.
No,
right?
that musician guy that she was banging ate Marnie's ass.
Yeah,
and they apparently used like a prosthetic ass, I guess.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Apparently yeah. And then and all it's gonna take is just like I'm trying to think like what show, what like it's gotta be like a big like women's show.
Maybe Insecure.
Insecure. I think
that's not on.
That's what's gonna be.
Insecure. I love the coming in the mouth. I guess maybe it'll be a pee thing. I just feel those characters wouldn't be into it.
Does Issa Rae's character like date?
She dates.
So then it will just be like a dude who's like, would you like, it will be like a little awkward for her, but she'll
really
do
hot.
it. And she'll like squat over some dude's face, let it loose.
Well, because she got livid in the show and someone came on her face.
Wow. What's your stance on coming on the face?
I like watching it a lot, but I've only done it like a few. I don't know. I think it's in the moment. I think it's rude to do it to an unexpecting person.
I don't like doing it because it's ruining what was an awesome blowjob. We're ruining the ending, which is the best part, by like removing me from the warm, wet space I'm in.
So you want to, I just always prefer come on tits, but I'm not against it. But also, hopefully, that's my one thing about being sort of kind of gay. Like I want to end up with a girl that also kind of likes dudes.
Okay. So y'all can like occasionally like grab one together?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a dream of mine. Because my ex was bi too. Like that's like kind of the dream of like, oh, that dude's so hot. Let's totally trade it.
So your dream is making another dude's dream come true.
Yes. Yeah. Because I do like getting come down. It is like something it is weird because I want to be with a girl. But then I'm like, I wonder if we could just go find come once in a while.
I mean, you could easily find the cum once in a while. It's a matter if you want
the person,
to.
If everyone wants to do it.
If they're organizing 2 gangbangs last weekend.
So how do you do all that? Like, are you on Craigslist? Like, how do you do ththese? There's a secret.
I'll share in a second, but if doing this, and technically I've organized 3 in the last month. I'll explain, but if anything I've learned, it's you can find dick. You can find dick. You can find it last minute. I can find dick, and dick's not even for me, and yet I'm able to find dick. I was able to find dicks that were okay being around other dicks just so they can get laid. So it's like the finding dick is like never the hard part.
Okay.
I was using Reddit. I used Craigslist back when we had Craigslist, but now we don't because Sesta Fosta is bullshit and took away my Instagram. But I use Reddit, and I'll post like in like a subreddit called NYR for R, so that's New York Redditor for Redditor, and it was just like, hey, these strangers hit me up and wanted me to, like, organize a gangbang for them, so like who wants to fuck them? And then I like lay out all the specifics. I'm like, here are the ones.
And people follow the limits, right?
Yeah, because what I do is I just make dudes jump through so many hoops that it weeds out the assholes.
Okay.
And then I just get a lot of dudes who are really nervously trying to make sure they follow my instructions.
So I want to know these hoops.
Oh,
and do you ever have to find the girls, or the girls come to you being like, I want to get gangbanged?
This isn't my fantasy. So this started where like, like if I had it my way, like we'd be fucking one-on-one or having another woman involved.
Yeah.
Or many women involved. It just like, I'm not I don't mind fucking with other dicks in the room, but it's certainly not like my fantasy.
Okay.
About a month ago, I organized a gangbang for a friend of mine who like, I don't even fuck her, but she knew I had history organizing shit like this before. I've done some like stuff like this for the podcast and stuff like that. So she's like, could you do that for me? I was like, I did. Okay. Like put an ad on Reddit, did it that way. Then I posted a success story, later on. So you just like kind of be like, oh, here's, remember that post I did? Here's, it happened and it was great. And here's what, went down. And then I had multiple women message me being like, oh my God, that's my biggest fantasy. Would you set one up for me? So we ended up.
And are they specific about what the dudes are going to look like and stuff or no?
Well, we'll have a conversations like, okay, give me what your requests are. Give me your boundaries. Give me your physical requirements of the dudes. Each woman had different answers for those questions.
And do they pay you or no? You're just doing this out of the goodness of your heart, or you're there? You're at the gangbang.
I mean, I'm out there, but I'll put it this way. The first one hit me up and I was like, oh, that's fun. Yeah, sure. Let's do that again. The second one hit me up. I was like, wow, that's so funny that second one hit me up. She ended up flaking. A third one hit me up and I was like, okay, after I do these and someone hits me up again, like I'm charging.
Yeah.
Because like this is a fancy fulfillment fee at this point. Cause like it's a lot of work.
Because are you providing all the lube and all that, or people are bringing it, or the girls in charge?
I mean, I have lube. Like,
okay.
Having a sex podcast means I just tend to have lube.
Well, because that's one of my favorite. When I met, so the one cool group thing I had that fulfilled all of my fantasies and was so exciting. I talk about it all the time. Like I really need a new story, but people, when I tell them about, they always ask like, "Oh, were there condoms?" I'm like, these are professional sex party people. Like they had everything.
Yeah,
there was lube and condoms and toys and leashes and the DoubleTree. But I met them at just the front row of a comedy show.
Oh, amazing. What was the name of the party? Or was it like an impromptu
It wasn't a
gathering?
party. I just when I walked on stage, this dude was so hot and I like started doing crowd work with him, and he was with what I thought was a couple. And so I waited for them and then we met up at a bar for drinks. And then finally after a drink, the people who I thought were a couple, they're like, we're not a couple. I'm actually married. My wife's coming tomorrow, but we're all fucking each other tonight. Like we have Molly, Coke, and a hotel room. Can you please come? And I was like, absolutely. So it was like the best. I don't like cocaine though. I didn't do Coke, but yeah, it was great.
Had some great
But they had everything. They were like prepped for it all.
They'll even have the wee pads. If you go to the right sex party and they'll have wee pads for squirters.
Oh wow!
Because otherwise, they're ruining sheets for everybody else.
It's a real nightmare.
Are you a squirter?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's just like so much more effort to do anything.
But I find it such a fun reward because then I feel like like I won a slot machine if I I did this right. Boom.
For sure. Yeah, I'm wondering because was squirt always a part of porn? I'm so new to porn. I'm only like 4 or 5. Like it's like so squirt heavy, but I just don't remember. Maybe I just wasn't watching. Were people constantly squirting?
I've seen older squirting porn. I think it was less common because I think dudes used to think it was gross or they thought it was pee.
Okay.
And as dudes grew the fuck up about it, it was allowed to be in more porn.
Okay.
Just like all this other stuff. Or like now, like what the big craze is like your first trans scene. Like that's a lot of cis female performers are doing their first scene with trans performers they're marketing it the same way like when they used to say like, oh, I'm doing my first anal,
Okay.
So I just think as like society starts to like accept certain things, like we'll see them in our porn.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's get back to these gays. So have all the girls been happy with their they loved it?
Yeah.
They were grateful.
The first one was super happy. Her fantasy was, she wanted to be blindfolded because her fantasy involved living her life in New York City, like walking down the street. And if a guy looks at her funny, she's like, did that guy fuck me? Like that she wants to be like, not know who fucked her and think she might be like buying something from someone. Days after the gangbang, she texted me. She's like, I'm in the deli and I just feel like everyone here fucked me. So that's her fantasy. And I also had a friend fuck her with a strap on and I made sure she knew that there was a woman fucking her. Which by the way, having a woman with a strap on at a gangbang has a plus side of like you get to watch a woman fuck a woman with a strap on. Downside is that woman has now set an unreachable bar and standard for all these other dudes
because of the dicks.
It's just like my one friend, like she fucking can rail like her hip. And then you're just like, I can't fuck like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that way's
that's why, because I love Nikki Hartz. I don't know if you watch any of her.
I think I've
Lee
seen a couple
Raven,
of things,
but that's what I buy the most of.
Right. Well, so
They're fucking chicks.
So by involving a strap-on, then it's like the entire world is suspect because like then any woman she sees also could have maybe fucked her strap-on.
Cool.
So she was pleased. The second woman super pleased. She was like really appreciative. Like afterwards, she took me out for tacos.
Okay.
She's like, "Can I buy you some tacos as like a thank you? My favorite taco spot's near here." I was like, "All right, cool, yeah." And like she was just happy. Like this is like her fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I got to help someone achieve a thing that they never thought they were going to do, especially not like in their early 20s. And then like we did the thing and it was safe and pleasurable and fun.
Well, that's the thing. I got into an argument recently, and this isn't even the first time, but I think Riley Ray's is actually the one. But in Wood Rocket, they do the Ask a Porn Star.
Right.
And a lot of them, how they got into porn was, she was like, yeah, I was just setting up my own gangbangs on the weekends. And then I was like, why don't I just do this during the week? Like, why am I working?
Yeah.
When I could just do this. And so I was telling someone, because Siren Demaire's like that too, where her and her husband would set up all these gangbangs. And then finally someone was like, you should be in porn. And she's like, all right. And you could tell she's into it. And I was telling someone about that. And they're like, nope, they're fucked up. Something happened to them. It's weird. And I'm like, no, it's something that they were into. And now and they're like, no, there's a problem there. And I was like, so annoyed. And it's like, yeah, if you were getting to do it safe and, controlled, I don't know if wanting to get gangbanged is equal to you're a fucked up person. It annoys me. Yeah.
It's just not. Those are people who like have their own shit going on because they're like ashamed of their own fantasies and they're too afraid to try to make them happen. And like a lot of people will say like, oh, I could never, like I have this fantasy, but like that'll just never happen. But like, why? Like you can make it happen. You just have to do it the right way. Like you need to do it with the right people and responsibly do it. Some aspects of organizing like a group sex thing or a fantasy aren't always sexy. Like the woman from Friday, we met for coffee.
So these are just continuously people reaching out to you.
There were two people who reached out after the first one that we actually did, and they were over this past weekend. We did one Friday, one Sunday. And yeah, we just talked, and I asked them like very like not necessarily sexy, but like I need to know these things. Like, what's the tone of this gangbang? Which seems like silly, but like one woman, she wanted to be overwhelmed. So like in the post, I'm like, her keyword is overwhelmed. She wants to like not make decisions. She wants to like just be overwhelmed by the amount of men grabbing her in the hands and the cocks that are around.
Yeah.
But the other one, her keyword was challenge. She was like, when I asked her like, how many dudes are we like, so I asked two questions in terms of number of men. I say, what's like a range you're hoping for? Then tell me your absolute max, because you got to overbook these things for flakes and cancellations. And then when she left my place, she texted me, was like, I changed my mind. I don't want a max. I just want to see how many I can take before I tap out. So I'm like, your word is challenge. You're trying to challenge how much you can take.
Yeah.
So, and then, I'm asking like questions again that seem silly. Like, can guys pull your hair? Can they spank you? Can they choke you?
It doesn't seem silly at all.
But even as small, like, can they come on you? Can they go down on you? Like, I'm asking really like all these things. So I want to, not because like I'm being super whatever, but I just feel like they're not when I say, what are your boundaries? They'll be like, no blood, no pee, no poo, like condoms. Everything else is fine. I'm like, is everything else fine? Because I'm going to list a bunch of things and all of a sudden I think we're going to discover some boundaries.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we just like lay that shit out and then I put it in the post and I make the dudes jump through enough hoops that they're like, they got it.
So is it a condom situation or people tested or
We're
what?
using condoms.
Yeah.
One of them said she was open to doing something with dudes who can prove STD results, but I'm not interested in fucking in a gangbang bareback or with guys who are barebacking. So we did condoms because that was my boundary.
Yeah.
Because I just don't I don't fuck around with with my dick like that.
Yeah.
The fun thing I did do to make them as a hoop to jump through was in the first post, I'm like, okay, I need like this information, like your email, whatever. And then it was, and I need a screenshot of you subscribe to my podcast. And it jumped up to the top 10 in sexuality like instantly. Cause like I had like an influx of like 100 guys had to like subscribed in like 36 hours.
That's so funny.
Never underestimate the power. Like, just like, I'm going to use thirsty dudes for my benefit.
But people do flake.
Yeah, we had flakes. The Friday one, we didn't have flakes. We just had like some cancellations. Like we had not one, but two dudes who it turned out worked in sanitation. So the snowstorm caused them to be on call. So they couldn't make it.
Got it.
Which I thought was a hilarious coincidence.
Yeah.
And then Sunday we had we did cancellations, but we had a lot of flakes and that fucking sucked because like I thought I was going to give her about 30 guys. We had 13. And like, that fucked with my organizational skills because I had them coming over in squadrons. I made them all go to a bar around the corner to wait. And then like I had them in groups of like 5 or 6. So I'd be like, okay, Alpha Squadron, come over. Okay, Beta Squadron. Now, Cap, get on over here. But then guys would come over and be like 2 or 3 at a time. Like, oh, these dudes fuck my system up. But yeah,
that's so wild. And are you staying at the Hard Rock?
I am staying there tonight, and then the rest of the nights I'm staying across the street at Alexis. Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I would change because I bet everyone's hanging out and running around town.
Yeah, I want to have some fun. Last year
this got confirmed only like 2.5, 3 weeks ago for me.
Sure.
So far, but it's kind of like, I do all these comedy festivals, and we're all like, we all know each other, and so I do feel like a little bit of an outsider, like trying to be like, hey guys. But it's like their convention. It's like they're just for laughs or whatever.
Also, it's like, so when you go to JFL, like you are a bit of like, it is a bit of your show. Like you are, the attention's kind of on you as one of like being on a showcase amongst like some of the showcases there. And it's kind of weird being at AVN because like I have to remind myself like, oh, I don't matter here. This has nothing.
That's why I'm so worried about this being at the Browsers booth where they're like, pump people up. I'm like, they're pumped up.
Yeah, but they're ready. And then they don't want this like comedian coming on stage, like not wearing pasties. Like,
yeah, I am wearing a see-through shirt, but it is goofy for sure. That like, I've just weaseled my way in here. They are paying me. And I'm just like, I hope this works out.
They're going to see you go up and be like, who's this goofy cam girl?
Yeah.
They're like, there's no way she's like in Brazzers, but like maybe she's a cam girl. She's really fun.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I am nervous because today was interesting. Like I am nervous to meet all these fans and ask them questions and see. I don't know. It's weird being on the outside for sure.
When you go to comedy festivals,
I feel like the coolest person because you know everyone, they're all your friends, or like you have your enemies, but whatever. And then it's just everything's catered for you. So you're running from show to show. You're doing podcasts. There's a panel here. Let's do lunch over here. Let's smoke weed in this room, and then we'll go there. So it's kind of like summer camp. That's how I describe Just for Laughs as summer camp, where you're seeing people. We all live around the country and traveling and all that. So we're all together, and the shows are not that strenuous, you're only and even if you're doing hours, like it's fun. People are there for fun. And yeah, it just feels really cool.
Do you get into like any crazy hijinks at festivals when a bunch of comics are just hanging out with not much to do?
I mean, maybe some. I just usually stick to who I know and like chat and get high. And just party. I guess I've never been in a gangbang during JFL.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't asking that. I was just more like, if you got into like some crazy hijinks at all, if there were any like fun
I accidentally
stories.
This past year, me and a few friends were going to go outside to smoke weed, and we saw another friend, like you have to switch elevators or whatever. And so I was like, oh, come with us. And then a girl that I fucking hate came with us. And I don't know what came over me. It's so embarrassing. But in the elevator, I was like, I don't understand why you're coming with us. And she was like, what? And I was like, I don't like you. And I think it's weird that you're here with my friends and I don't want you here. And she was like, well, too bad, bitch. She's like, I'm here. These are my friends too. And I get to smoke if I want to. And I was like, whatever. I'm just saying, I think it's a weird choice for you to come. And then when we went outside, it was like 40 people smoking weed. Like the fact that I was trying to keep her from it is ludicrous. And then when we were sitting there after a few minutes, I turned to my friends and I was like, was that weird? And they're like, yeah. And then a couple of my friends were like, oh, we thought you were kidding and you knew her. And I was like, no. So then I had to go apologize to her.
Well, that's nice
and
of you.
that sucked. Yeah. I mean, I always say sorry if I'm sorry. And I was humiliated.
Do you frequently get into some beef with like other comics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am a shit stir. I mean, my goal this year is to talk less shit, but I definitely, I don't even know if it's that, but if I don't like you, I don't want to play like don't waste my time, get away from me.
I want to start paying attention to your Twitter @replies.
Yeah, I've definitely fought on Twitter. That's pretty embarrassing too, but like in person it's just like there's also a lot of misogynists and I'm like, you're not worth my time, get away from me. And then there's people that fucked over my friends or were not nice or you just don't trust them or they're inauthentic and you're like, I don't want to be around you. Sure. But I'm trying to think of other like fights.
How do you handle when you're on like a show with someone like you fucking hate?
It happens to me all the time.
Sure.
So I'm a professional. I'll host someone. I'll bring them up, give them a good intro. I'll say good job. Like I don't care in that way. But there are a couple guys who they'll switch around their sets to not be around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the producers of this show was like, oh, well, he's going to be later, so can we switch? I go, no, I'm a professional. I could do whatever. I don't care. If he cares and he wants to, that's on him. Because no one asked me, but, I don't want it to be weird. I go, I don't understand why I have to cater to how this man feels at a show. And you're not even once asking why I don't like him. And it's because I stopped him from almost raping someone once. So it's like, stop trying to make me feel bad for hating these people and like that I have to make sure that they feel safe and cool versus like, oh yeah, why do you hate this dude? And maybe we shouldn't even fucking book him. But that's not the thing. So to me, I'm like, I'll be mean to him and I'll give him dirty looks, but it's not my responsibility to make him feel good. Right. And if you're trying to switch me around for his emotions, he needs to grow up. We're in a business. Like, we will perform in front of people we don't like, and it's fine. I mean, I've been in situations where I'm as close as we are sitting right now and would not acknowledge someone. Or like the same with me. Like, we would not say hello. We would be in one tiny room. Everyone knows that we don't get along, and then all of it. But I've smashed a lot of beefs with like old school like people that I've known because I've been doing this 10 years. So when you start at 21, you do make enemies or whatever, or fight because you're an idiot. You're like a young person. Then when you grow up, you're like, whatever. Like, hey, how are you? How did that go? Congrats on that. Like, it's not going to kill me. My friend had to tell me, she's like, you think if you're nice to someone you don't like, people are going to think you're phony? No one's going to think that. You're at work. Like, think of some of these people as your coworkers. And that kind of changed it. Like, I just never want to be seen as inauthentic. And so I would be like overly rude to people where it's like, you could just say hi. They know you don't like them. It's fine.
Right.
But my new kind of batch of people I'm not into is post-election seller crew, Louis did nothing wrong type of people. So there's just a lot of like cis white dudes that are just like, well, why didn't she go to the police? Of like just full rate, just the election brought out points of view and opinions that I didn't think existed in a lot of the people I was friends with. So all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? You think trans people are trying to trick you? I don't want to sit with you. It's just like all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you don't believe in equal pay. All right. I don't want to be your friend. Yeah.
You cut them off.
Yeah. I just don't say hi. Like, it's just, you're not worth my time because I don't want to sit and argue with you. Like, I'm sick of having to argue at the table or with comics about like the humanity. I don't know. I'm just sick of having to prove to you that feminism is necessary or like that racism is real. I just don't need another dude being like, there's other factors of inequality, but whiteness and maleness. And it's like, we all know that. Yeah. What does that have to do? You're not I just got sick of having to argue constantly with these dudes. Their points of view are crazy. Like, this is so minor, but it bothered me so much. I walked into the comedy club and I was like, oh my God, my doctor's office was all black women. I couldn't believe it. It was so fun. I'm like, that's amazing. I've never been in an office where everyone was a black woman. And one guy was like, oh yeah, because we're all the worst, right? All the white guys are the worst. Thank God it's not a white guy. And it's like, this was nothing to do with you. And if you want to go to a white guy, truly 90% of New York is there for you. Right. And also, mortality rates of black women at the hands of doctors is really high. So if they get to go to an office where they're seen by people that relate to them and give them the time of the day and don't think they're lying, then yeah, this is huge, great news. Like, why are you taking it as a personal slight to you? Yeah. And so it's like things like that where it's just like this defensiveness and this, if someone gets something or like a cool Netflix thing, and it's like, oh, well, they were looking for gay. Oh, they were looking for something. And it's like, no, they're funny. Like, I don't know. It's just like that. That's the new stream of like, get the fuck away from me. But one of the dudes I hate is my friend's ex. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to like you. Yeah. Like, why? And then a producer was like, it was really awesome. You were nice to him. I just want you to know it meant a lot to him that you were great to him. I was like, I don't want him to feel good at all. Like, I just hate that it's like the lenses are out. Like, how am I going to treat this person that like did my friend dirty? Yeah. The one thing I don't know if I regret it, but I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I was drugged up as all hell. And my friend picked me up. And do you know this? You're like, no, no, there's trouble ahead.
I know anytime it starts with something I regret, I have my wisdom teeth taken out. I already know the trajectory of the story because I know Vicodin's involved. Yeah. And you were going to say something.
And I had tincture. I had like liquid weed. Yeah. But I also was just like, my friend picked me up and she's kind of a dangerous friend. Like, we're not friends anymore. But she showed me a tweet that she knew was going to piss me off from someone. And then I just like went at this person who I've never met in my life. And then everyone started writing. And then it was like this huge internet thing. And it was just embarrassing because, yeah, I was drunk. I mean, I don't stand by what she was saying in this article, but it is embarrassing to like take time out of your day to yell at someone you've never even met.
Yeah.
So that was embarrassing.
You know, the dudes, I'm not going to take it back and say the dudes because it really is only, I still have yet to see any women say, like, try to claim diversity, like castings, bookings, whatever. So last year I watched every comedy special that came out. Not every Netflix special. I watched 61 stand-up specials in about a month.
So Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central.
Self-released.
Wow.
Like all of it. I hate comedy right now.
Okay.
Still coming down from it. But so when I put out, because I was doing a top 20 list for Laughspin. When I put it out, I was like, cool. And I really put thought into it. I didn't try to manufacture like diversity into it.
Yeah.
It just actually did kind of end up that way. Like my top 5, you know, was it was Chris Rock, Hannah Gadsby, John Leguizamo, W. Kamau Bell, and Adam Sandler at number 1. So really, like the only like white guy was Adam at 1, and everyone else was mixed up. But I was curious. I was like, I'm curious to see like what was the whole makeup of everything, because how many women made up the top 20? Okay, like I only had 5 women in the top 20. And then I was curious, how many stand-up specials came out in 2018 from women? So I went to the spreadsheet, went through all of them. 8.
Okay.
8 specials. 5 of the 8 I put in the top 20. So I was like, actually, women were kicking ass ratio-wise.
Yeah.
And I was like, and also one of those specials was the Natasha Leggero with Moshe. So really, it's like a shared special. And I was like, whoa. So it's like, don't tell me like, oh, they're just looking for more women. It's like, yeah, they need to.
Yeah.
There's 8, and it wasn't even all on Netflix. 8, but one of them was Cameron Esposito, which is self-released. 8 specials.
Yeah.
How many of color? I think it was about like 25% of the specials were of color.
Well,
like,
yeah,
it
there's
was
like,
insane.
I don't know who, there is a theory where it's like, even if there's just a few people that are like of color, let's say, you automatically are like, well, half of them. And it's like, no. There's still 20 white dudes going to JFL for New Faces, you know? There is maybe more people of color than ever before, but like the majority, you know, it just looks crazy because it's just never happened. But also, they want a courtesy they've never given to anyone else. So now they're complaining that they're not the ones the industry is looking for. But it's like, for decades, all these people have been complaining, like, all my auditions are with accents. And like, you know, most of my auditions are like, just like a girl that's like, I'm fat and gross and love to eat and fuck. Like, it's just so annoying. Like, all my auditions have a line where it's like, I'm not as beautiful as you. And it's just so annoying. So it's like, everyone's been telling you all this and you didn't care. And then now you want everyone to like come up in arms because you didn't get a Netflix something. But like, one guy was complaining. He's like, yeah, they weren't looking for white men. Yeah. But that stand-ups of the half hours, there were still 3 white men in it. Yeah. So it's like, maybe that's the reason you didn't get it. But as a group, like, these are the people you should hate, not the one black woman who got it. So if it's weird. True
that it is purposefully that way, then your only competition is the other white guys, and therefore you should hate, the other white guys.
Yeah. So that's like the people that I'm just annoyed with, and it bothers me. But I've been having a good time. I mean, I want to stop gossiping. It's one of my big goals for 2019. Okay. Stop talking shit, putting negativity into the world. Like, obviously it's hard in a friend group. Like, you want to gossip, but you know, thinking twice before you say something shitty or like that you didn't like that or something like that.
Sure. In the, you know, you said like you don't mind, just like you're a professional, you'll be in a, you know, you'll have to be in a room with people you don't like. When it's, you know, now that we're having all these, you know, these assaults or this misconduct or whatever you're calling all these things coming out, some of them in the comedy community still aren't like out. Like, we know them. Yeah. We know that these things happened, but like the world's not, like no one. Yeah. National publications aren't talking about TJ Miller still.
That's something I had in my head.
Right. That's that, you know, like, so how do you, when you're on like a lineup with someone who is credibly accused of something like that?
Well, that happened to me recently. I was going to do a show, and then I got a text going, hey, TJ Miller is going to come. So you might go up later. And I went, I'm going to go up at the spot that I was booked at. I'm not being bumped by anyone, especially him. And honestly, I don't even think he should be booked there. Mm-hmm. And immediately like, you're right. You'll keep your spot. But he did go up after me. But it's like, I'm not fucking with my money to prove a point. Like, I'm because a lot of people are like, well, why do you still perform at the Cellar? Louis is there. And it's just like, I'm not going to perform at the best club where it's packed and make money because he's there. Like, how does that help me or any woman? Like, if all the women or all the dudes that were like, fuck you, Louis, left, like, what good does that do?
Yeah, if you
then
all
our
stop
perspective's not even talked about. Like, at least I get to go up there and do jokes that are against him or whatever, or like say something, or I don't know, just be a breath of fresh air in a lineup that's all dudes. Like, I don't want to stop performing there, but it is hard. And I wish I had more guts. Sometimes I want to go up to someone and just like be like, why aren't you fucking talking about it? But then when I did see him, I didn't do that. I just walked away. I just didn't say anything. I
Louis?
like walked. Yeah.
When you say talking about, you mean like, why aren't you on stage?
Yeah.
But that was the thing that was so take morality and take like PR out of it, right? Just comedically. When he first did that first drop in and he wasn't talking, I was like, it's the masturbating elephant in the room. How are you not talking about the thing we're all thinking about?
Yeah.
Diffuse that tension. Like, is ridiculous as a
or
comedian
don't come
to
back.
not-
'Cause a lot of people are like, well, what, should he be gone forever? No, but at least until he could fucking talk about it.
Yeah, because if you can't talk about it, then like, did you actually learn?
No,
Like,
he didn't. He doesn't think he did anything wrong. He thinks he's a victim of something and that he did nothing wrong.
Yeah. And I genuinely thought, especially based off like the very specific time period these things happened and the way he would speak before all this stuff came out, I thought he could have been an example of like someone messed up, has to go to prison, but messed up and needs to go away, then can come back in some time and show that he learned and changed.
No, you're
and he's
totally
fucked
right.
up every opportunity to do that. And now after that last set, when we finally heard what he's been so determined to talk about, not judging it as a final product, of course, but like, you can judge based on the premises, the direction someone's going. I'm like, wait, this is it? Because he's brilliant enough, he could make what he did funny and important and maybe a teaching moment.
Yes.
If anyone could do it, I think the only other one who could do it if something came out about him and then he had to go away and come back, I think like Judd Apatow. I can't think of comics who are good enough. Chappelle. Yeah, Chappelle. It's like who?
But I don't think I don't think Judd would have anything, honestly.
No, I don't think. I was just trying to think of like who is socially conscious enough, but also and funny enough to then have something like that and come back. I was like, Louis, the person to say, I'm a piece of shit. I was a piece of shit.
Because even
Here's what I learned.
Aziz is all materials about how PC culture and people are too sensitive.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to understand that their behavior is like sucks.
He's like,
even if it's not criminal. That's what I keep telling people, because a lot of the arguments like, well, he's not Harvey. I'm like, no one's saying he's Harvey. Yeah. Just because someone doesn't want to get like raped in the street doesn't mean they don't want their like lower back touched at work. Like, what are we? Or they did work. They like took dicks out. But I'm just saying, like, I don't understand why it has to be the worst case to be like, can you just stop? Like, why are you acting like this? Like, have some reflection. And the Louis thing is, I'm a nobody, and I knew that New York Times article was going to come out weeks before it did.
We all knew years about this.
So it's
shit.
like, why didn't you just come out before the article? Gawker was trying to get shit out of him for years. Like, if he knew this was going to happen and he was really like, fuck, I fucked up, why wouldn't he just sit down with Diane or anyone, a comic, anybody, and go, this is going to come out. I did this. This is what I want, of anything. But one of my friends said this is probably who he actually is now. And he was just hiding it. And now that he knows he's lost it all, even though he's gonna have a sellout, he's gonna go on tour and sell out. And that's another layer to this that pisses me off. It's like, wait, do accusations and all this ruin men's lives, or is he gonna continue to sell out and work and nobody gives a fuck? Like, that's what pisses me off. It's like you're pretending to be a victim and yet you're still gonna make millions of dollars and no one's leaving the Cellar shows. People are coming and they're not leaving. And
people want to be mad at Louis, and that's valid. I'm not saying not to be, but I'm saying y'all need to also be thinking about the culture, because there's swaths of people still loving and wanting Louis.
Yes.
And that's possibly more of a problem.
Yeah, because that's what they're like, well, that's what Jimmy Kimmel was so annoying with, where it's like, let the audience decide. Let the audience decide. And it's like, no, that's the problem. No one cares about women. And one of the things, and this, so I don't want to compare all these things, but with the Kavanaugh, like, one of the things I saw online that like fucking hit me so hard, where all these people defending Kavanaugh have children that could be abused. And now hearing what you have to say are never going to tell you. And same with the R. Kelly stuff, like all these people defending him. And it's like, you are defending in front of people that someone's been abused in that room. And now they're not going to come forward because of what's happening. And that's like, it's fucked. Yeah, nobody really cares. But they're pretending that they're victims and people care and their lives are ruined. But he's going to sell out. Only one comedy club in Denver said they wouldn't book him.
And I'll be honest, also Stand Up New York.
Yes, the one New York club.
It's not like official, but she's like, if he dropped in, like if it was up to her.
No, I heard they all had a meeting and that was the only club that said that they wouldn't.
That's nice. I will say this, I think, and I'm hoping more.
But this is happening in porn too.
Sure.
Where like accusations happen and then nothing happens and the girls kind of get fucked over.
There's also a lot of I think there's a little bit more of messiness with that because within porn and especially the conversation. I've had conversations like back-to-back recordings where like one person's defending the person and the other person's like, that person's a monster. And they're porn performers and defending or not defending certain accused, performers. So I think porn's a little messier because
tough. Some
of it's a lot of nonverbal stuff.
But you also can't take your personal experience to deny someone else's experience with that person.
Sure. Yeah, there's that. But then like, there was one where like they had an unedited like video stream of the entire shoot from the corner of the room for that purpose. And then like that allegedly like may or may not have like
but that was edited.
Canceled out but there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where like not all of them have been as maybe there's been a lot of from what I talk for all the porn stars I talk to, it seems a little messier.
Yes.
In comedy, I hope that more guys, I hope it's not only me, like are thinking about like how I interact with like other female comics.
But it's all a fear. Like, so I'll get hugged, let's say, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, me too. Can I hug you? And it's like, fuck you for diminishing what this truly is. But also, if you're so scared, don't fucking hug me. No one will be mad if you're not hugging us.
Or you can also just, I guess, cool to hug. A comic like Janet Hyde. By chance?
No.
She's in New York. Funny. And she I remember like a couple years ago, she was like bitching about like at a mic, how like the guy comics will always like hug the female comics and shake the hands of the guy comics. And that actually made me think, I was like, do I do that? I was like, I think I do that. And then I realized like, I need to change that behavior, not hug people. It's like, oh, I'm going to hug the people I'm friends with.
That's what it is.
And I'm going to shake the hands. Like if I just meet you, I'm going to shake your hand. If I'm friends with like a comic of any gender, I'm hugging. And if I'm like just whatever, like I shake hands. But I didn't even think about it.
No, people have hugged me who say my name wrong, who will then kiss me on my cheek. And it's like, we've never even like hung out. Like, why would you do this? It's so weird.
Are there any other like behaviors similar to that might even just be micro, like not thinking things in comedy specifically you think you would like to see changing?
Definitely the physical stuff. I don't know if there's maybe unsolicited advice is always very annoying to me, but not really. I don't know if that's anything micro besides the touch. The touching is so annoying. Yeah. I hate getting kissed on my cheek by just any loose lunatic.
Also, what comedian, like, I feel
tons of them. And can I just tell you, so there's one dude and he kissed me, and then dudes take it personal. Like, that's what's annoying too. It's like, you also can't even just tell the boundaries, where it's like, why don't you just say no? It's like, because men truly can't handle it. Like, this one dude kissed me on my cheek and I went, oh, that's not really, I don't like that. And he was like, oh, right? You think you're so much better than me? And I was like, I don't think you're better. This is about me. He goes, fine, then I won't even touch him. I'm not going to say hi. Like, truly flipped out at me at New York Comedy Club. And I was like, all right, dude. So then the next time, I always try to avoid him. And so this last time I was at Gotham and I was standing and I saw him coming and I knew he was going to hug. He always is touching me. So I turned towards the bar. So my angle was hugged me from behind, hugged me on stage when he brought me up. And it's like, we're not friends at all. Like, I will hug my friends. And so it's just like, why are you hugging me? I don't fucking like you or know you. And I've asked you. So then after my set, I'm sitting and I see him coming towards me and he kisses me on my cheek. And I went, and he goes, oh yeah, you don't like that. Well, you know what, Lisa, there's one of you and hundreds of women. So I can't keep track. And it's like, you knew I didn't like it. There's no way after you did it, you remembered I didn't like it. And it's just like, yeah, I should be meaner. And they said this recently on another podcast where I was like, it's just exhausting to be a bitch all the time. It's exhausting. It sucks being on the defensive and always seeing what's wrong and like having fights. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun calling people out. It's not an enjoyable thing. So sometimes it's like, all right, I'm not going to say something this time. Like, I'm not in the mood to get yelled at or like flip out or make an issue out of something. So I'll just like, fuck it.
How does that make you feel?
It's annoying. Like, there was a regular, this comedy fan, and we were sitting, and he was like rubbing my lower back, and I hated it. And while I was sitting, I was like, I should just tell him to stop. But I was like, but he's always, and I didn't say anything to him. And it's like, it's, it's what we talked about with like women not coming and not saying stuff. It is this thing where it just doesn't seem worth it a lot of the time. And it's exhausting. So sometimes you just shut down. Yeah, it's weird. But I want to be more vocal all the time.
I mean, you've been extremely vocal this like last hour.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I definitely talk a lot, but in the moment, it's not always like when I saw Louis there, I wish I went up to him and was like, why the fuck aren't you talking about it on stage? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I wish I said that, but I didn't. And same with Aziz. Like, I just don't even like him. And every time he talks to him, like, oh yeah, hi, yeah, nice to see you. But I want to be like, I don't like you, dude. Go away. I don't know. It's tough. It's just like tough all the time. And these people don't even think about me or care about me and if I like them or not or interact with them. But it's uncomfortable.
Does it just get to be too much at times? Do you ever just go like, I don't want to go to that spot?
No. I don't want to do that spot. But I'm definitely not going. I haven't been back to New York in a few weeks. Not that spot. No, but even at the start, like the booker called us and was like, Louis is going to be on your show. How do you feel about that? And it's like, well, I don't want to say something and then I get fucked with. Like, I just don't want that. I don't know.
Are you able to say like, I don't like it, but I'm a professional. No, I'm going to come do the spot?
Yeah, I waited till we were in person and I talked to her about it. I was just like, so if I said I was uncomfortable, you would have not booked him? And she goes, absolutely. And I was like, really? I don't buy it, but okay.
Okay.
But also, who's she going to pick? Like, because what she's been doing is like moving people to the other club. Like, I just can't believe we're catering so much to this dude.
Because you don't need the Louis drop in the draw in. They're people
sold out all the time.
People go to the cellar because they know people drop in. It's not Louis. It's like they're like, it could be Jerry, it could be Amy Schumer, it could be Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off about him.
Like, it doesn't have to be him.
Rent a theater and sell it out.
Honestly, that's what I thought when he first came back. And he saw everyone mad. I thought he should do this thing. And then I thought after he came back to the cellar that second time in October, I was like, okay, hopefully he'll think of something kind of like this.
No, because people are dick riders.
Well, I thought it was like he should rent out a little black box theater, be like every Tuesday for like the next 4 months, because I just have shit I want to work on. It's $5 admission. All the ticket admissions go to Rain. And just like he gets to work on the things. People get to actively choose to see him. The minimal amount of money that comes in for it can go to a good cause. Yeah. That's kind of tied to what the fuck he did. And I'm just so astonished. He's like purposefully not doing anything that's positive.
No, you're delusional. And I feel being rich and famous fucks with your brain. Like, most famous people are pretty weird and don't understand the world around them. Like, we're supposed to feel bad for a dude who has a 4-story home in Manhattan and a summer home and a boat. Like, excuse me? Okay, what if he never gets to work again? I'm supposed to feel bad for him? Are you out of your fucking mind? Because if it was a cook, if it was a cook at the comedy store, at the comedy club, I'm sure no one would be rallying around him.
Nope.
It's just like goofy to be like, I don't know. I have to feel bad for this dude who won't take any accountability and is a millionaire. All right. Also, doing comedy and being successful and famous or well-known or being able to just do it for a living is a privilege. You're not entitled to it. It's not a right just because you got to do it. And it's a fear that I constantly have that like one day I might have to be a salon receptionist. Like, you have to enjoy it, but we are not entitled to be able to be professional comedians. Truly, it's like a gift.
Yeah.
And so like to make it seem like suddenly he lost his life and it's like, no, you're not entitled to be famous. Go away. I don't understand. And, maybe one day I'll bite my tongue and I'll do something terrible, but.
I wake up every day like grateful, like I don't have to go to an office. And it's like someone else like gets to be shitty and like gets to go just because like they're funny, because there's plenty of funny people. I don't know.
But what's positive, it's like I'm being so negative, but what's positive is like the scene outside of that's amazing. Like the Knitting Factory and like the show at Club Coming, Kat Cohen's show every Wednesday. Like there is a fun, awesome energy of comedy happening outside of just like the dick riders who love Louis.
On it, to try to end on a positive note. When you say famous people are like quirky and goofy and weird, is there anyone in particular you can think of who is in a fun?
Oh, in a fun way. Because I'm saying like you just become delusional because no one treats you
like a real person. Yeah.
Everyone wants things, so you kind of forget what life is. I don't know. It's sad and weird, and it's like it's weird on top of it because I want to be successful. I want to sell out, and people come to see me, but
you don't want to become weird in the process.
I do not want people talking to me because they think I'm like cool. I don't know. It's gross. Like when I see like everyone just looking at one person at a table and they're talking about a no carb diet. And it's like, are we really all listening to him talk? Like, this is so boring. Like we don't know not to eat carbs to get skinny. Like, why are we all listening to him?
Was that a cellar table conversation?
It was Louis talking about, well, instead
people
of
were taking dieting advice from Louis?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's not the guy.
He's like, instead of mashed potatoes, I'm like, what? Mashed cauliflower? Like, even fat people fucking know what to eat and what not to eat.
He still looks gross.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
But everyone just listens and like they interrupt and everything has to be about them and they like lose sight. I think Janine Garofalo is pretty goofy.
Yeah.
And she wears Spanx every day and she like walks to the shows from Manhattan to Brooklyn. Like she'll walk for hours to get to a show.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty quirky and like cute fun to me. I'm trying to think.
That is cute fun.
I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Chappelle's the shit because he brings fun, famous friends and smokes inside and drinks and like is a good time.
Yeah.
He's not as when he's in a room, it's like exciting. Like he doesn't. Even though he is better than everyone, he doesn't act like it, or he doesn't go into a corner and is like, "Please don't talk to me." It's like he'll sit in the middle of a room and smoke cigarettes, and I kind of like that. So that's fun. Who else? I don't know. I guess I don't. Miley Cyrus seems cool to me.
Well, yeah, she's up on the wall. She's in
oh
the
yeah.
frame.
I said that. I did get to meet her once.
What?
Yeah, Chris Red from SNL introduced us.
Nice.
And I got to sit in a room while she got tattooed, and it was cool. But I was really cool. I kept it chill because I want to be invited back. I didn't want to be embarrassed. That's why I feel here. Like I can't be embarrassing. But I think everyone here likes the attention.
They're gonna like you.
I hope so. I mean,
You're a big
nervous.
You're a pervy, dirty.
I'm also nervous
funny.
if Brazzers like, why did we pay to bring this bitch? Like she is not doing a good job either. I don't know. I'm really. It's doing something new. I'm like really excited and nervous for tomorrow. It's not like I know I can go and crush it. Like there's girls. The dudes are not here to listen to people talk. But I'm gonna have prizes to give away.
People fucking love prizes.
Yeah. You know what my big plan is? I know this is going. I know you have so much more to record, but
you're good. You're good.
You know, it's like a version of the reverse cowgirl where like a dude sit, and then it's like a girl puts her arms behind her and like is squatting on a dick.
We're
and
talking
it's so hard.
reverse cowgirl, but she's also like leaning back.
Yes.
On okay. What about it?
I want to make two men do that and see who can last the longest, and that's who gets the prize. Just if they can do that motion.
Yeah, that's all. But like that's a good butt workout.
Okay. Yeah.
What's next for you? What you just did? You did the Degenerates. That was great.
Yeah.
Are you that was 15 minutes, right?
30.
That was 30. So do you burn that, or does that possibly
the
go
moment
into...
it aired, I stopped doing any of those jokes, except like there's one quick line I like to do, and sometimes I'll do my Holocaust joke.
Okay.
But yeah, it's retired.
Hey, I would never want you to part with your Holocaust joke.
It's a Holocaust cum joke, so it's like just a joy.
What's next?
I'm open. I'm really looking forward to 2019, and I'm trying lots of things, and I'm hoping one of them is like perfect and great, and then hopefully have a new hour by 2020 and like travel and go on the road and do comedy. But as far as like a professional, like a show, like I don't know. I'm like I'm open to everything.
Sure.
But non-scripted, I would say. Is that too industry? I want to do non-scripted.
I was going to say, if you had a choice then, it's just...
If I had a choice, I would be the voiceover for Love Island. Well, I'd be the host of Love Island, the U.S. reboot.
Okay.
I'm really gunning for that. I'm trying to do I'm working on like a fun interview style storytelling show thing. So we'll see.
Dope.
Like just pitch that. Lisa's Fuck Palace. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to be able to talk to people and go fun places and be natural with people and talk to people that are good at their jobs, maybe host a game show. I don't know. I just want to be able to talk and not have to like learn lines.
Yeah.
And do stand up.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are my goals. And my 2019 goal is to fall in love.
Oh, that's a cute one.
I'm Sex in the City, Charlotte. Like, I'm just going for it. I have to be out there. I'm like, I fully hit a Renee Zellweger, Bridget Jones, like, cliche.
Yeah?
Yeah, all of a sudden I looked around. I'm like, oh my God, all of my friends are booed up.
Well, I hope that all happens for you, Lisa. Thank
you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on. And where can people find you?
At Glitter Cheese on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter anymore. Wow. Well, I am, but my manager, she changed the password and I can't go on.
Why? What'd you do?
There were some racist tweets.
Oh, yeah.
And they were found out by Bernie Bros. Yeah, and they're bad. Like, they're truly humiliating. I know a lot of comics. Old were they? Most were from 2012, but there was definitely a 2016 one that was pretty bad.
Okay.
They're bad. They're really bad. And I know a lot of comics are like, that's the process. You got to stand by your shit. And I'm like, no, this is like the most embarrassing thing ever. I cannot believe this is me. Because people told me to scrub my Twitter and I legit was like, no way. I'm a good person. There's nothing. And then
I just can't
they
imagine,
found everything.
I just can't imagine going through like 20,000 tweets.
Yeah, well, the Bernie Bros did it. And they tagged, people. They didn't just like post it. They went through everyone that follows me and tagged them into screenshots of it. I mean, they were telling me to die and like...
They were also doing like the typical Bernie bro misogynist stuff. Yeah. But then they also like found some damaging things.
Exactly. And so I didn't want to like read
and
all this stuff.
And everyone skipped over the death threats to be like, no, but she said that one joke.
There was more than one. They're bad. They're so bad. But I am really sorry. But then it's like you say sorry and then people don't believe that you're sorry. And they're like, you're not sincere. And it's like... If I wasn't, I wouldn't have said so. Like, what are you talking? Yeah.
Well, there has to be a space for people, human beings. We are all imperfect meat sacks. Yeah. There has to be space in this society as we are trying to progress. There needs to be a space where we can mess up and improve.
Yeah, I mean,
and that goes for the Me Too stuff, and that goes for like bad, like
the
bad
only
jokes.
Thing that really scared me was that people weren't going to be my friend. I was like terrified that my friends were going to be really like upset by what I wrote and stuff. And then immediately my friends started texting me and that made me relieved. And then they like defended me. I haven't seen any of it. And then everyone's like, get a backbone. But like, that's what meant the most to me was like having my friends be like, we know who you are. It's okay.
That's awesome.
Because I thought I was going to have no more friends.
Well, someone who thinks he has no friends, you'll live. Lisa, thanks so much again for chatting with me. Everyone go check out her half hour on The Degenerates on Netflix. And I want to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye. This was so fun. Thank you.
Oh, that was great. That was so good. Shout out to Lisa. Thanks for coming on the show. I hope you all go follow her on the things. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheBillyPresida. Give me a little shout out and use the hashtag #ManWhorePodcast so I can see what you thought about the show. And if you're more of a Facebook person, go ahead and like our awesome Man Whore Podcast fan page where we post all sorts of fun, interesting content. I'll give you memes. I'll give you pictures. I'll give you really long posts when I'm feeling, emotional. It's a good place to be. Just search Man Whore Podcast and you'll find it. Want to say something to me a little privately? Shoot me an email with your comments, your questions, your boobies to manwhorepod@gmail.com. I know it's really cold right now. It's January, Hey, even Las Vegas was pretty fucking cold. Maybe you and your special someone in your life are looking to go down south. Maybe you want to go down Mexico's way. Maybe you're thinking about hitting up Cancun. Then I highly recommend going to Desire Resorts. Desire Resorts is a fabulous couples-only, clothing optional. They don't tell me to say erotic, but I'm just going to tell you, it's a pretty erotic place to be. It's a vacation you'll always remember because I know that my time spent at Desire Resorts, I'll never forget. I'm still wearing the bracelet, and that was Labor Day weekend. Go check out their awesome deals for their various resorts and cruises when you go to manwhorepod.com/desire. And not for nothing, when you book your vacation through that link, Billy gets a little kickback. And we all like it when Billy gets a kickback. You want to give Billy a direct kickback? Maybe you're not trying to hit Desire. Maybe it's not on your budget just yet. Become a member of our fan whore community on Patreon. You get a whole bunch of awesome rewards like access to private sex-positive discussion groups and bonus episodes of this show when you join at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Last plug I got to do at the end here, okay? Tour de Man Whore. We're trying to make this thing happen, okay? Get 20 tickets sold in your hometown, and I'm coming to you. Go to manwhorepod.com/tour, see if your city's on the list, and if it is, buy a ticket, buy 2 tickets. Hell, one woman in Miami bought 10. Make this show happen, and I'm going to bring you a hell of a show. Go to manwhorepod.com/tour. Next week should all go well with scheduling, and she doesn't bail. We've got one of my exes coming on the show, a woman who has just sexually confused me for a while. So I hope to bring that to you next week. But until then, everybody, fuck the Patriots and stay slutty.